through an implementation and what you would need to know, and including, you know, selecting a web host, you know, whether it's SiteGround or whether it's Nexus, and then how to install the site on it, both of those platforms. And then there's a section on WordPress and all the plugins that we've got there. So that's the main consideration. I think the first step that you just need to decide once you've
There's only
decided.
99 of them. I would have had to move some things. Let's put it that way.
So somebody's joined, and obviously the mic's on there. Thank you very much. So we have a whole host of licensed plugins as well that we supply with the template. Now these offer the advanced functionality in the back end of the WordPress site, and these do come at a cost, but AEE has basically provided those to you for free. So advanced functions like Ninja Forms, the events ticket system that we've purchased, and then there's other functions like the subscriber function and the WooCommerce function. So the template itself and these plugins are at zero cost to you. We'll keep up those annual fees for us to be able to implement them to all the chapters worldwide. And some of those really do give you the functionality that you guys would want there. Let me change my share here. Stop that share and start another one. And let me go to my desktop. And let's show you some of the site that we have here. If you can see all of this, let me just bring that down. So the site itself, obviously WordPress, it's responsive. We picked a nice clean template to go with. We've set up some basic pages, but as with WordPress, you can modify and bring in different elements. So if anybody's familiar with WordPress, you know, there's this 3-panel element here. There's a lot of other options that you can bring in to these pages if you want to add additional content. We have the main menu system up at the top that we've designed based off looking at a number of chapter sites that we can see. So there's a main section for About Us, where obviously you can talk about your chapter, and we've populated that with some basic information that you can go in and modify, and some of the elements that we think that you would possibly need. So that's ready to go. There's a membership page. Now we have 2 membership templates. We know that depending on membership dues, how different chapters work, either they'll take them directly, or there's the possibility of sending them directly across to AEE. So there's another page in the background. This one here that I'm showing you obviously directs to AEE, so people would join via the AEE system and pay their local membership dues that way, or they would join for corporate. There's another page in the background that you can very easily switch out in the template that allows you to take payment directly yourselves for your local member dues, and then also send people off to do the membership with AEE as well. So switching out that template is very easy. You just basically rename one and name the other, and that's all part in the support document. So, and obviously you can see other member sponsors there and various different elements that you can possibly use. So we've got sections with chapter leadership that come up where you obviously you can put your details in, the officers, for the volunteers, and even then bring in, if there's any student chapters that sit underneath your chapters, there's possibilities for you to bring in the student leadership chapter there, and then the actual chapters themselves. So we can see we've got 3 student chapters here underneath. So these are all data driven off WordPress posts. So you're just filling in data at the back end of the WordPress site, and it's bringing in those details that you basically fill a form in on the back end of WordPress, and it's automatically populating the page here. And if we go back, these pages here, or these sections here with the individuals, they're all automatically going to populate as well based off categorization on WordPress. And that's a standard feature of WordPress. So anybody familiar with WordPress would understand that, you know, and they'd just mark somebody in the category of chapter officer, and it would automatically populate on this page here. So it's not like you have to design pages and paste this content in this dynamic content into a page. So that's leadership. We've got the about the chapter, which is the same as what we've seen, and then a link through to AE. On the event side, if we look at that, there's a very robust event system in the back end using that license plugin that we've got for you. You can input your events in here. We've automatically populated some, obviously AE East, West and World we'd populated in there, but we might have to change that now. But you can basically, in here as well, you've got the monthly chapter meeting. Let me bring that one up. You can actually put ticket sales in here if you want to. So I know some chapters, you know, they take, you know, $15, $20 for lunch on a lunch and learn. They could actually sell those tickets up front so they would know who would be coming. You can take reservations, and that's all then done through Ninja Forms and linked to an e-commerce system. And the e-commerce can be linked to PayPal. It can be linked through your bank account. Some of those standard gateways are all supported on there. So there's certain options for what and how you want to do that. You can also add speaker details into the events here. So let's say you had a specific speaker at this monthly chapter meeting. You can, in the back end, you can add his details in there, and he would appear on a drop down here. I don't think I think we do have some examples. I just don't recall now off the top of my head which one has got, there we go, speaker information. See how the speaker information comes in and the event attendance, so you can get tickets and then see the speakers themselves, and you can put the web URL, and there's also a description in there. So if there was a description of his actual presentation, you could put that in there as well. So it's a very robust system, and if you've got 20 speakers, they would all be displayed there if you needed that. And obviously the location and the Google integration there as well. So it's a very robust and easy to use event system in the back end, and obviously you can it comes with all the calendar views already built in, and then a search function as well if you needed to do that. So good stuff. So yes, I'll move on, and obviously we'll take questions at the end. If anybody's got any specific questions, then we can get into that. On the job side, again, it's based off a standard WordPress post type, if you're familiar with that. So you would literally just go into the back end, fill out a form that gave the details of the jobs that you may have for your area. You can see them here, and then you can do the learn more and apply. So then you can put the job details in there. And we envisioned you put in, you know, we don't have form entries for whether it's part-time, full-time, or the salaries. We just envisioned you placing those details into this description and requirements here. But then we also provide a contact through there. So if it was an individual from that company, you could put that all link through to the website. And that's all, you know, you don't have to come in and modify this link here. It's all form-based in the back end. So very easy management of those sort of things. You can switch them on and off and publish them and not publish them. So the jobs functionality, I think it'd be good for, certainly from what we've seen from some of the chapter websites. And then these are automatically populating on the right-hand side of this page as well. We understand that, you know, a lot of you guys are driven and supported from your partners and local companies. So we have a section there, and this is very much similar to the leadership and similar to the other elements. It's a form in the back end, a separate post type. And I can go into the back end quickly, but I don't know how many people on the call are interested in that. So we can show you the admin side of it as well. But again, very simple form entry, which will automatically populate over to that page based on the categorization, where you can then show the company, the logo, the contact details of all of your supporters and partners. And if you, all of this menu system is editable by normal WordPress. So if you want to add elements, add pages, add content to these, it's very easy to do that in the WordPress side of things. And then news, again, another post type separated. So you can add blog entries and news that's going on in obviously your local area again. And again, this would populate with other content, news content that you've put through. So all of those familiar elements, and then obviously a contact with a standard contact form, standard get in touch. Oops, something went wrong. That might be the map that it's integrated to there, the actual Google Maps here, where you would just implement a Google API to get your map there for your office. So with that on the front end, I'll just briefly go to the back end, and then we'll take questions. So I'm not sure how many of you's out there. I don't know whether you can do that, Michelle, do a quick poll to say how many people would be implementing this or working in WordPress.
Yeah, I can try to add that real quick.
Yeah, while I'm talking. So you can see for those that are unfamiliar, I'll take it from a point where I'm talking to people that are unfamiliar with WordPress here. Those familiar with WordPress will know exactly what I'm talking about. So you've got a very simple left-hand menu. You've got various different posts here. So you can see I'm coming here. This is the news post. I can come into the actual post that I've got here. You can see all the details about it, who published it, when it was published. Let me just get rid of that. Here's the poll coming in, and then you can come in and you're literally just typing in your news text here. You can do some basic formatting. There's SEO capabilities, and then over on the right hand page there's some other page elements, and then once you've edited that or created a new one, you just update and it's published as you need it there. Yeah, so we're seeing good. There's a lot more of you more familiar with WordPress out there than I anticipated, which is good. It's good stuff. Hopefully, you guys are the ones that are going to be implementing. So we've got the various different post types, the pages, the events section, where you can come in and modify the events, and then within the events you can, if we look at that, you see the specific. I'm going to stop sharing at this point. There's 29 to 9 on the post there. So there was 29 of you guys that are familiar with WordPress and 9 that aren't. So then when you come down again, it's all standard form fields on the back end of WordPress to basically add in the details, and then the ticket function where you can add in the ticket capabilities to that event. And that's got to be connected through to Woocommerce to be able to do that. But the Woocommerce is automatically installed, and all the plugins are automatically installed in the template with the licenses. So you shouldn't have any issues there. We'll make sure that you get access to the template and the support document after this event. So Michelle, we will send out a Dropbox link to those. So you can immediately start implementing this today if you wanted to do that. So yeah, speakers, and then obviously the speaker's information is built into the event where you can add your speaker information there. And we're using a custom form field plugin to be able to implement some of these unique areas. We've got the leadership forms. So you can see how for those familiar with WordPress, you can see how each of these different elements on the website is basically their own post types with their own data fields in them. And you can see the requirements there. And some of these post types will or will not appear on the front end of the website. So for instance, the phone number may not appear on there. So there's some privacy and some, data that is in the back end more for your administration as opposed to posting out onto the main site. So again, very easy to implement with each one of those. And you'll see the categorization that's been implemented. And even on the front end, you can see you can go into those widgets and see which widget is drawing from the categorization to be able to post the leadership or the student leaders, etc. But you can see them here on the leadership types, which draw to the front end. Again, sponsors and partners and jobs, again, that's all the same sort of stuff. The chapters is your chapter information. So again, in the template, we've just put your main chapter and then a couple of example student chapters. You can publish or unpublish those as you need to. There may be a need where you want to associate yourselves with another chapter that's maybe in the same city or within the same state. So we've put a secondary chapter there in the template for you as well. Ninja Forms, if you're familiar with WordPress, you may well be familiar with some of these plugins that I'm talking about. Again, that's a great plugin, very versatile for you to be able to create additional forms as you need to. And on the CRM side, you can connect this. We've connected it to MailChimp, but if you're using Constant Contact or one of the other major providers, you can connect the CRM backend to any of those to be able to manage your mail lists and things like that. We're using Beaver Builder. Yes.
You're doing a great job here. We've got a ton of questions.
So let me.
6 minutes left. So would you like to
Yes,
to move on to them?
Yeah. So do you want to? Can I see those questions, or do you want to start hitting me with them, and I'll take it from there?
Michelle,
you can see them in the chat, but I can just kind of read them one by one if you want.
Yeah, or look at maybe some of the. Let's have a look. Let me see the chat. Wow, there's 32. Yeah, start reading them away, and I'll start looking as well.
So who is the payment provider? Is it Stripe?
It is Stripe. You can connect using Stripe. Yes.
Are they able to use different payment gateways?
Yes, so you can use a payment gateway through your bank if you want to, or you can connect to PayPal as well. I mean, they're the three primary sort of options that we envision for you guys. PayPal through a bank account or Stripe.
Okay, then a couple around events. Does the event arrive in attendees' email as an Outlook event? So I guess maybe as a calendar invite?
I can answer that a little bit, if you'd like, Michael.
Yes, great, Julie. I was wondering whether you're on the call there yet.
Yeah, no, I've been here. Yeah, no, so it doesn't automatically sync with your Outlook events calendar, but you can, on any of the events, a user can hit export event, which gives you a .ics file, which you can then sync with Outlook, and it will take all of the current events that are on the website and automatically sync it with Outlook. But it does not automatically do that. It does send it will send an email if the user registers, but it's not going to be directly synced to their calendar per se if they use Outlook.
Yeah. So the Ninja Forms as well, you can go in there and see who is registered and export all the registrations and manage that on the back end as well.
So that was the next question is, do you get a list of attendees? So that would come through the Ninja Forms. Yeah,
you would use the Ninja Forms plugin to be able to do that sort and filter by the responses to the registration.
And you should be able to see that as well with through events calendar, the attendees for an event, if they did, if they did like a paid or an RSVP ticketing option for the event.
Yeah. So those two elements, the Ninja Forms and the events, are very robust and feature full systems as well. So.
Okay. Will the main AEE events be pre-populated moving forward?
So we obviously populated for 2021 in there. What we would do is provide you an update for you to very simply create an event for that. So we'd provide you the title, the description, the dates and times, and then you would just simply go in and populate and create a new element in there. There's no way for us to give you that as an import apart from provide you the data. So we'll make sure that that's sent out on a regular basis as soon as we announce those.
Mm-hmm. And so there's a couple questions on membership. Is there a membership feature or any reports on membership built in?
So again, if you're taking payments for membership individually, you know, using the secondary page that we built, if you're doing that and you're using Ninja Forms to do that with, then you would have that in the back end of there. So yes, there's a way of doing that if you're taking payment through the website.
Yeah, it would just come in as essentially form submissions with Ninja Forms, because that is what would be collecting the membership information and payment. So you would just be able to go to the specific form in the back end of Ninja Forms and click form submissions, and that will give you a total rundown of all the names, emails, everything of people who have paid that membership.
And Julie, just remind me here as well, we're obviously paying for various licenses here. We didn't take the license on where we allow subscriptions. So
Right, yeah, so it's not a automatic renewing subscription technically. It's really just a fee, a one-time fee through Ninja Forms. And I do believe that there is an option to set up as a recurring fee through Ninja Forms, but it's not nearly as robust as a true membership plugin or sort of platform.
Yeah, so you can, I think there's an extension where you can, a chapter can individually purchase that license to be able to do that functionality.
Yeah, if you decide you really would like to at some point make your membership section more robust, you can pretty easily add on to WooCommerce. Has a very easy subscriptions and membership integration that makes all of that automated and gives you ability to do different membership levels and whatnot. But yeah, we didn't opt for that.
That's right. We see this template as an 80-20. There's obviously some functionality in the back end of this website that would not be there for, you know, the 10% of chapters. But to then build it in would add a lot more cumbersome features for the 80% of chapter use. So we had to make some decisions in line with that to be able to make this more appropriate to the wider base of chapters. But with the WordPress and the functionality for you to be able to build that extra in there for a chapter that does automatically resubscribe and take annual dues directly, then you've got the capabilities to add in that functionality.
So we are at 11:30, but there are a couple of important questions I want to just reiterate. So I'm going to kind of tell you all three at once. So is there a typical host cost that they can that they could be familiar with? And then what's the cost of the template and the existing plugins? So I just want to reiterate those. So
the cost of the existing template and the plugins to a chapter is zero. So they're all the plugins, like for instance, one of the plugins is a $750 a year fee for us to use it on unlimited sites. So AE is paying that fee for you guys so that it's zero cost to you. So the way the template is and the plugins that come with the template at the moment is zero cost. The cost for hosting, so if you want to set up with SiteGround, off the top of my head, $10 to $15 a month to be able to do that, and you will probably get a URL if you need a new URL for $15 a year. So very minimal fees. Nexus, which is, let's say, the next level of hosting, is a little bit more expensive. I think, Julie, remind me off the top of my head, maybe $20 to $25 a month. But with that comes, you know, additional uptime and additional features. But we basically recommend, you know, starting out with SiteGround maybe, and going from there. So the cost to implement a website for yourselves could be in the range of $150 to $200 a year, up to maybe $400 if you went with Nexus. And then obviously, if you've got somebody that you need to pay to implement this, then there's that cost as well. But you'll be paying local WordPress fees, WordPress development, implementation fees to do that. Or you can come back to our great people in Spry who helped us develop this template. And I would say if you did that, you would get a very good experience as well from a development point of view.
Great, awesome. Thank you, Michael. I think this was,
I
it was very,
I would say, Michelle, if anybody wanted to stay on the call with me, I can certainly talk more about it and answer some more questions.
Okay.
I don't have another appointment until 1 o'clock, so I can certainly, go through till 12 o'clock here if you want to leave it open with me.
Yeah, I can do that. We can kind of close it out. I think Bob had a couple things he wanted to say. And then if anybody wants to stay on, that's fine. I can stay on as well.
Okay, well, great. Michael, thank you. Great presentation. A lot of kudos coming in from the comments and one from me personally. Good coverage. I know you were drinking from a fire hose there, trying to get this done. So are able to stay on, great. Thanks everyone for joining us today. We've moved Michelle from a national webinar to a worldwide webinar. We had folks from Pakistan, Dubai, Nepal, South Africa, even California. So we've had a lot of folks join us today, and we thank you for that. We also want to let you know that we plan to hold one of these webinars, AEE chapter webinars, every month. It'll be the third Thursday of every month, same time that you tuned in today, wherever you are in the world. And our next chapter webinar will be on 18 February at same time.
Bob seems to have frozen there.
In for the six month in term webinar at the time for your time back.
Okay, Bob's jumped off. So I can see another couple of questions coming in here. I'll just make sure I'll answer them. The multi-language, one thing I didn't touch on would be that WordPress in the back end of there, you can very easily switch the language of the back end and the administration side of WordPress. It supports many languages. And on the front end of that, then you would just, as you going into a post, you're going to be typing in your own language there, and you can change the menu systems out, and all the text is just text entry for language support. Learning tutorials on the presentation. So there's in the support document, it takes you step by step through some of the implementation. It provides you links to the support sections for each of the plugins. So Ninja Forms, there's a link there to go to Ninja Forms website and look at their video tutorials. WordPress is, as I say, it's worldwide supported. If there's something that you need to do in WordPress, you can hit YouTube and find out exactly in 2 minutes how to do it, or hit the plugin support tutorials there. So is there an example of a chapter whose site is currently using the template? We have the National Capital chapter currently implementing. We were hoping that they'd be done in the new year. They're not quite there yet. And we have one up in Canada. Is it Canada West, Michelle? That is implementing as well at the moment. Yeah. Are there recommended membership management plugins? So we could look at that. We could maybe answer that question. I don't think we went down that road because of things like GDPR. and data security. That's something I think that each individual chapter has got to make a decision on. But there are membership management plugins out there, and they would be very robust and probably affordable.
Yeah, the one that might be even easiest to implement is the WooCommerce membership and subscription plugins. Both are paid plugins, but they are super easy to install, set up. They will work 100% with this template with no issues, and they make it very easy to manage membership levels and payments and automatically collecting payments, they even send members, automatic emails when their membership is about to be up, all that good stuff. So
yeah.
If you are interested, that's definitely a good solid route to take.
Yeah, so WooCommerce. And then where can we go to get more information regarding this, especially cost? What chapters has implemented this so we can see an actual site? So again, we've got 2 chapters in development. From a cost point of view, once you get your hands on the support document, you can go to SiteGround for the hosting costs. And if you've got you can bring that up as we're talking as well. If you go to siteground.com to see the levels that they offer there, and we suggest starting out with a basic level. It's I think it's a $10 a month cost. We certainly recommend that. We don't recommend GoDaddy. We would suggest that if you are hosting your site currently on GoDaddy, you would probably be better off switching to SiteGround in the new implementation. There's experiences out there with GoDaddy when it comes to WordPress that we don't recommend that. So thank you for your effort. No problem. Are the next steps? Michelle's asking me, are the next steps? Should I send an email requesting instructions? Well, yeah, Michelle will send an email out to all the chapters to make sure that you get the download links for the template and the support document. You can even send me a direct email as well. It's michael@aecenter.org, and I can send you this as well. So we can certainly get you those links out today. Michelle will probably send a blanket email out, but if you're really itching at the bit to get your hands on it, send me an email. I can send you a quick response with a link to the support document and the template. Are there any other questions? I mean, come off unmute and ask directly if you need to. I can't see any. Maybe whether we can go back through the earlier chat. Hello from Dubai, Northern California. So hopefully, this is a robust template that we've got for you here, and hopefully it'll be successful for you guys. One new message. Let me see there. No, thank you.
Michael, this is Owen from Jamaica.
Hey, Owen.
Will all of this information, it's quite a bit of information, will this information be placed on AEE's website so that at least we can go through it in detail and take it in so that we understand exactly what we'll need to do and all the costs involved?
Yeah, so we won't publish this out on our website, but we'll send, as I say, we'll send this out with a Dropbox link. The support document works through all of those details for you. So how to implement each one of the plugins, how to which hosting service to connect to or consider using, then how to implement the template through that hosting service. So the support document is the information that you need there, Owen. And as I say, the cost to you would be, $10. The minimum cost is $10 a month with SiteGround and $15 for a new web address if you don't have one. So you can very easily implement this. If you have somebody in your organization, in your chapter that knows WordPress and would be willing to volunteer to do that, you could certainly do this implementation for under $200. The next step would be then to obviously pay a WordPress expert in your area, probably locally, to do that for you. And then that would be your local development costs, in the US, let's say $20 an hour. elsewhere in the world, it's probably less than that. And then the third option is to come back to Inspire, our developer, who would be able to quickly and seamlessly be able to implement it for you. But they're based in the US, obviously. So.
Okay.
Michael, I have a I have a question. This is Parvin Styles with North Texas.
Hey, Parvin.
My question is about security of excuse me, of the members' information profile.
Yeah. So if
Can
you're
we choose where it should be stored, domestic or international?
If you're, I mean, any hosting service, whether it's GoDaddy, SiteGround, any of those people, I don't believe you can select which servers that you're storing that information on, no matter where you are. I could be wrong with that. You might be able to pick a hosting service that says, hey, these are based in the US. You might well be able to do that. As part of SiteGround, I'm not sure with Nexus, but SiteGround offers you free HTTPS. So the site itself, using a HTTPS login with a security there, should provide the security that you need for your site. And we would highly recommend you use HTTPS on the site that you would have.
The next question I have is
Yep.
the AEE expectation. Is the organization expect all chapters to go with this platform, or is that an option for each chapter to decide?
So I'll put my brand management brand director hat on for this question. So the answer is no. We're not going to be a brand policeman and ask and force everybody to implement this. That's certainly not the case. We realize there's a number of chapters out there that smaller chapters maybe don't have the resources to be able to do this internally themselves. So it's something we offer you guys. We've picked a nice design that we believe fits in with the brand. We've produced a standard logo set for every chapter as well. So as you see on the front end of the website, let me just go to my desktop here and share that. Where are we? Right here. And if I go to the front end, we've even suggested, and if you've looked at our current or our new brand guidelines, we've got the AEE with the chapter name and chapter title there. A lot of chapters out there have their unique own logos. If you want to take your unique own logo and implement it here in this template, you can do that. For those chapters that don't have that, we've created this standard branding, AE recognition with a chapter name, and we've created a logo parcel for every chapter based on that. That's up to you if you want to make that step and try and work off that brand recognition. As part of that, you've got the EPS file, the JPEGs, all the files that you would possibly need for implementing that logo change if you wanted to do that. But we are certainly not going to police that, and we're not going to dictate that. It's merely an option for you if you want to use it.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Any other questions? Okie dokie. So if that's it, then we'll wrap up about 15-20 minutes later than we anticipated. There's another recommendation for the filter membership on different levels. Again, I think Woocommerce, Julie recommended that as a first look, and we can provide information for that as well. So yeah, I would say, I wish you success in implementing this. I think those familiar with WordPress will have zero issues implementing this, and hopefully it's got all the functionality that you guys need going forward as well. Or if not, you can certainly build on it with WordPress plugins and WordPress functionality. Well, I'd just like to say thank you, Julie, for jumping on the call and answering some of those questions as well for us. wish you success. Reach out to Michelle if you've got any other questions. Michelle will direct them to myself. And yeah, as soon as you start implementing and get a site up, I would love to see it.
Yeah, and like Michael said, I'll send this out today. It won't be immediately, but I'm gonna get this recording downloaded, and so I can send out the recording with the Dropbox files. And I'll also include those standard logos. I sent them late at the end of last year, so I'll just resend it out along with the website stuff. And then, yeah, if you have questions in the meantime, you can reach out to me or Michael. But like I said, just give me, a couple hours to get it out, but I will send it today.
So there's a last question there about Star Chapter. I know of Star Chapter. I'll let Michelle answer that question.
Yeah, so as far as Star Chapter is concerned, a lot of the, I guess we got a lot of negative feedback from Star Chapter. It's very expensive to maintain. So as far as a price is concerned, I would say this is definitely a better option. And then also the functionality of WordPress is much easier. This is in my opinion, than Star Chapter is. So I would say yes, but I can ask some of the chapters who are using Star Chapter to take a look at this and see, to kind of compare the two and get more feedback on that one.
Thank you.
Yeah, I suppose the last thing to say, actually, and I never touched on it, I'll close out in like 1 minute, is the maintenance and support for this template going forward. It's fully function as it is now. In 6 months after we've had feedback and implementation, will we add more functionality? Possibly, in 6 months or a year, whether that's the case. If we do that, obviously it will be functionality that will add on directly to this template. It won't be a completely rebuild or anything along those lines. So, we plan to maintain and offer this template going forward. And WordPress is obviously, it's not going away. So you're building on a platform here that will give you longevity.
Good morning, Michael. I had a question.
Sure.
This is Nishant Arora from the NorCal chapter. So my question goes like this, that a lot of times, with the COVID shutdown, what happens is social media comes as a savior for us. So we'd like to have maybe more social media on our website. For example, if we can have snippets of videos on the website, or if we can have the Twitter feed going on over there and things like these. So how easy it is in the new template to integrate that? Would it be just a copy paste, or would it be more of a coding level thing which we'll have to do?
Yeah, with WordPress, there's so many different social feeds and plugins that you can get. We'd sort of excluded that, so that that's a personal choice of each chapter as to how involved they are with it. I would say there's probably 100 different plugins that you could choose from. Your WordPress person who would implement this for you could give you recommendations. Chapters may already be using a particular plugin on their site, but it's literally a case of deciding on a plugin, implementing it in the site, and then connecting your feeds to it. So it'd be a very simple process.
Thanks so much, and get well soon.
Okay, no problem. I'm fine. It's just these, the COVID, you get this lingering cough that just, but apart from that, everything's great.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, doke, guys, we'll wrap it up there if that's okay. We'll let everybody get off, and again, let us see what you build.
All right, I'm going to end it and look forward to an email from me later. Thanks, Michael. And thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.